Recognize the Minister for Tourism, Heritage and Culture.
Mr. Speaker, our government, too, is fiercely committed to being a strong voice on matters that are important to New Brunswick women. I appreciate very much the comments the member opposite made. We are women and we understand, we get it, and never apologize, men or women, for showing emotion in this legislature. Mr. Speaker, women play a critical role in the social and economic development of our province, and we need to ensure they are properly represented in decisions that affect us all as citizens. We are committed to taking meaningful action to support a family-friendly legislature. Mr. Speaker, my focus is sharp as Minister responsible for women's equality. I will represent women in this province to allow their voices to be heard louder than ever before, and to empower the changes that need to happen as we strive toward equality. It's exciting to see that, as the members opposite said, 14 of the 49 seats in this Legislative Assembly are held by women, and there are more women than ever at our cabinet table. As one of those women, I commit to raising the bar in tackling issues that affect women across this province. I will be a voice for them, whether they are CEOs or single moms, students or grandmothers, and I will be a part of the conversations we need to have in order to make their lives better. I want to ensure all New Brunswick women that there are many women working in this legislature for you. All parties, all women working together on this. Mr. Speaker, inside this magnificent building, we see the life-size artwork framing decades of important men who have spent time within these walls. If you take a walk to the washroom, they're everywhere. If you go upstairs, they're everywhere. There's men everywhere who have done remarkable things, or they've been certainly recognized in that way. The job of MLA and Cabinet Minister belonged exclusively to that sex, and it remained that way until one trailblazer, Brenda Robertson, sought election and won in 1967. The Conservatives was the first party to elect a woman, and the first to name a woman to cabinet. MLA Robertson didn't even have a bathroom to use inside this building initially. And while there's been a lot of progress in the 54 years since then, Madam Speaker, this is a monumental day, and that we are recognizing change needs to be made to ensure men and women can both serve as representatives in this legislature with equal opportunity and equal challenge. When I grew up in rural, very rural Belisle Creek, being in this place was never a dream of mine, because there were so few women telling girls that this was even an option. So to my 15-year-old daughter, Jamie, I want her to know she has every right to be here or anywhere else. If serving in this legislature is a choice any of our daughters make, we should be proud for them to know their moms use this time, here and now, to kick down the barriers that limit them, with major support from the men they serve with. And I think we have to give another round of applause to the men who we serve with and who support us. I also need to recognize the incredible men in our lives outside of this building who stand beside us as we navigate a career that is challenging for women. We need to empower girls and show them that they can do anything and be anything. We need to mentor them and be strong and inspiring role models for them. Today's empowered girls are tomorrow's empowered women. Madam Speaker, women are not just underrepresented in the political landscape, but in science, technology, engineering and math professions, and in the skilled trades. I took part in a trades and tech career exploration for girls session on International Women's Day, where girls were learning more about careers in STEM and skilled trades. It's so encouraging to see more and more women are stepping up and filling vacancies in these professions, which are becoming more available with New Brunswick's aging workforce. They're finding these jobs are leading to very rewarding careers. It's certainly not easy to go against the odds and stereotypes, but as a society, we are making progress, and more women are filling traditionally male-dominated occupations. Madam Speaker, we need to continue encouraging women and girls to dream big, think beyond the traditional roles, and pursue a career that they are truly passionate about, regardless of what it looks like or what it takes to get there. And they are doing that. In 2021, women's choices and women's voices are loud, Madam Speaker, and women are inspirational, they are strong, and they are capable. In my role, I want to support and encourage women to run for politics. There are actions we need to take to make our legislature family-friendly and comfortable for current parents that are MLAs. This will encourage more parents to consider running and help make it possible for more women to become involved in politics. I applaud our Premier. He encouraged women around our table to lead and to have an equal voice to lend diversity to some of the most important decisions impacting this province. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I apologize because most certainly I should be referring to her as Madam Speaker, especially with this speech. Madam Speaker, studies have shown that having more women at the decision-making table leads to better economic outcomes and governance. Women represent half of our population, and it's fundamental to democracy and equality that their perspectives are heard in the government decision-making process. That's right. He just said it. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, legislatures were created and designed at a time when men and women did not play both professional and personal roles. Women still bear the majority of the responsibility for their families and home life. In New Brunswick, the majority of unpaid household and caregiving work is still predominantly provided by women. This is difficult to balance with the need to constantly be away from home. You know, I will just, when the member opposite was talking about her decision to run for politics, and I have teenage daughter, 15, and a son in grade 12, Kegan. And while my children are not as young as yours, it was still a decision because you have to be close. You always feel you have to be there. You have to be there for the doctor's appointments. You have to be there to talk about, homework at the end of the day. And the challenges that women face, there are times, these are conversations we're having as moms at the end of a very long day here in the legislature. So that support at home is so vital, but it is still so terribly challenging for mothers. Madam Speaker, the nature of political life today does not account for the fact that parents and caregivers need additional supports and resources to be successful. Implementing family-friendly and gender-responsive initiatives, such as parental leave, support for care work and work-life balance, as well as potential changes to rules, procedures, and practices, could have a positive effect on increasing the diversity in politics. Madam Speaker, several provinces, including Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and Labrador, as well as Nova Scotia, have reviewed and adopted various measures to create a more family-friendly legislature. And various measures have been introduced in recent years to make the Parliament of Canada more gender-sensitive and family-friendly. Some examples of measures that have been implemented in other jurisdictions include changing to scheduled sitting hours, creating designated family rooms, adding change tables to the washrooms, implementing leave with pay for the birth of a child, and allowing infants on the floor of the legislature. The behavior on the floor is seen as one of the barriers women cite for not entering politics. Once infants have been allowed inside legislatures, the overall tone of discourse within the legislature has changed from loud and aggressive, as we see sometimes, to being much calmer. Madam Speaker, another way we are being responsive to gender and diversity is by using gender-based analysis in policy developed and in the budget process. This lens provides an opportunity to ensure collective government action is responding to the needs of all citizens. As Minister responsible for women's equality, I'm very proud of the work our branch and government is leading to ensure quality through the personal safety and economic well-being of women in this province. We are recognizing women who are leading in their communities with our VIVA Awards, championing excellence in gender equality. These awards highlight not just the great work that is happening around the province as we go through these difficult times, but also the great individuals who are an inspiration, who are working towards advancing gender equality. This award provides an opportunity to showcase leadership and inspire others. We also know that for true participation and equality to happen, that women need to be safe. That is true in their homes, their communities, their places of work, online, and as they seek leadership, opportunities, and democratic participation. Madam Speaker, our government is leading work and partnering with community agencies to ensure the personal safety of women in the province through initiatives focused on preventing and responding to domestic and intimate partner violence and sexual violence. We know that this violence can be online, and progressing on that front benefits all workplaces, including the legislature. All of these measures are required to contribute to advancing gender equality. Gender equality strengthens economic growth. By addressing gender inequalities, women and gender minorities have opportunities to achieve their highest potential and fully participate in society. Gender participation in society can have significant economic implications, from employment opportunities, remuneration levels, and positions of influence. Mr. Speaker, to close, family expectations and responsibilities continue to be deterrents to women considering political careers. We know that balancing political work and family life can be a challenge. Refining and modernizing the way business is conducted in the Legislative Assembly to better reflect our society and the real demands of being a good MLA and a good parent makes for good policy to ensure equitable representation in our democratic process. Madam Speaker, we support this motion to direct the Standing Committee on Procedure, Privileges, and Legislative Officers to undertake a review of initiatives that will encourage more women to offer as candidates to represent New Brunswickers in the New Brunswick Legislative Assembly. I will be asking to sub into this committee for these discussions. The Standing Committee will report back to the Legislative Assembly within 3 months with specific recommendations. While measures for a family-friendly legislature will benefit all members, they will particularly help to eliminate barriers to the participation of women in the legislative process. Increasing the gender diversity of representation in the legislature is vital for democracy in New Brunswick. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker.